Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and Restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Not at all. This was the most bizarre thing that the Young and the Restless could have broadcast. Reports of Beth Maitland's death started to circulate as March neared its end. The conversation was spiteful, which was worse than merely idle, and why? I agree with that. The actress, who has intermittently portrayed Tracy Abbott since 1982, is not only still alive but also very much in the spotlight. We've been pleased to see her portrayer enjoying the limelight, even though it's not the epic romance we always want for her character. Her fiancé Alan has proven to be a complete maniac. The intersection between real life and fictional life is when things become complicated. We have every reason to worry that Tracy will die like Alan's identical brother because she is being married to a complete nut job. Will Tracy succumb to her sweetheart's insanity, or will Jack and her loved ones be able to keep her safe? Tucker, seated at the bar, beckoned to Jack as he walked through the athletic club's eating room. Jack was uninterested in conversation with Tucker. The men exchanged jabs. Jack advised Tucker to travel to France and concentrate on his glissade business. Has it ever occurred to you I might move glissade here? Tucker asked. If glissade relocated to Genoa City, Jack promised Tucker he would have a ringside seat to watch Tucker's further self-destruction. Tucker informed Jack that he truly wanted to talk about Ashley before Jack left. Tucker informed Jack that he had been approached by Ashley. Tucker attempted to explain why he was worried about Ashley, but Jack cut him off. Tucker was still certain that something was amiss, even if he agreed with Jack that there was no future for Tucker and Ashley. Take her out of your thoughts. Tucker said, she's falling apart, Jack, in response to Jack's demand. Tucker thought it all began when Ashley misremembered what had transpired in the bistro in Paris. Tucker informed Jack that he was unable to identify the object behind Ashley's eyes. Tucker brought up the contradictory texts that Ashley had sent him. After Tucker disclosed that Ashley had desired to work with Tucker in all things, Jack acknowledged that he had been worried that Ashley's big heart would allow her to forgive Tucker, even though he did not trust what Tucker had stated. Jack received a text message. After insisting that Tucker avoid Ashley, Jack hurried off. At Society, Kyle and Claire carried on their talk. Claire pointed out that because Kyle had gained more knowledge about Claire's past, his opinion of her must have evolved. Kyle expressed his want to hear Claire's entire story. How did a nice girl like me end up trying to poison her long-lost family? Claire made a joke. Kyle smiled and remarked, there must be a story there. It began at birth and continued until a few months ago, Claire remarked. My entire existence. My insane aunt had complete control over my identity and origins. According to Claire, she wasn't always aware that Jordan was problematic. Claire had fully trusted Jordan when he said that the Newmans had abandoned her since Jordan had provided for Claire's clothing, food, and safety. Claire admitted to Kyle that she still felt terrible for nearly killing her family and the anguish that resulted, particularly for Nikki. Claire found it amazing that the Newmans had accepted her into the family and forgave her. Claire conveyed her appreciation for the chance to start a new life. Claire questioned Kyle if he still believed that she was a crazy criminal, but Victoria came back from answering a phone call before Kyle could respond. When Kyle revealed that he had been getting to know Claire better during Victoria's absence, she found it wonderful. Claire questioned, is it, as she glanced at Kyle. When Cole got to Society, he wanted to have a private conversation with Victoria and Claire. Kyle stepped aside to give them some space. Claire was aware of what Cole would say to them. Jordan escaped again, didn't she? Claire inquired. Victoria questioned Cole about Nikki's knowledge of the escape. Cole wasn't certain. Victoria pondered whether it had been a mistake to face Jordan. Victoria questioned this, did we cause this? I want no more excuses. Victor shouted into the landline phone while he was sat at his desk. You locate that woman. The phone was slammed down by Victor. Nick stood disbelievingly across from Victor. He was shocked that Jordan had gotten away once more. Victor felt bad about allowing Nikki, Victoria, and Claire to confront Jordan in the basement. As Nikki walked into the office, she heard the comment. "Jordan is free to hunt us again, and it's all my fault," she stated. Nick advised his mom not to place the blame on herself. How had Nikki learned about the news before Victor? Nikki clarified that the security team had called her since they couldn't get through to Victor. Since she had been bouncing at every noise, Nikki stated, she had made the decision to visit Victor's office and be around people. Victor inquired as to whether Nikki had made any stops en route. Nikki inquired, "Do you mean did I stop for a drink?" Jordan was on the loose, and Nikki acknowledged that she was desperate for a drink. "Is there anything Victor or I can do?" Nick questioned. The wisest course of action, Nikki informed them, would be to ensure Jordan's quick recapture. Nikki apologized for keeping Jordan alive. Nick advised his mother not to hold herself responsible for being superior to Jordan. Nick subsequently worked at Victor's desk. Searching for Nick and Victor, Sally went inside. Adam would be departing with Chelsea and Connor to get ready for Connor's transfer to the OCD treatment center in Maryland, Sally informed Nick. Nick and Victor were asked by Sally to stand by Adam. The statement, "He's really struggling with this," was from Sally. Sally was informed by Nick that he would make arrangements for Adam's family to utilize the Newman jet. As Adam had told her, Sally questioned whether Nick and Adam were actually getting along. "It's true," Nick told Sally. "It was pleasant to see," Sally said. Nick requested that Sally let him tell Victor about Connor's predicament. Nikki updated the group on Jordan's capture and escape during an AA meeting. "Do I want a drink?" she said. "Yes, indeed. Hell, I'd like the entire bottle." Nikki compared the scenario to a nightmare she was unable to wake from. Despite everything her family had been telling her, Nikki didn't think she was as strong. Jack had just arrived at the conference, and Nikki was about to begin blaming herself once more when she noticed him. Nikki clarified that she had prayed for Jordan to be imprisoned for the remainder of her life, but she had since come to the realization that her prayer had been in vain. Nikki sulked, "I wish she was dead." Jack extended his arm to grasp Nikki's hand. Nikki was led back to the Newman Ranch by Jack. Nikki acknowledged that she had called 911 in an attempt to make Jordan's agony worse. Nikki didn't think she was deserving of Nick and Jack's encouragement. Victor came and threw Jack out. Jack told Victor that improvement takes time as Victor escorted him out. Victor went back to ask Nikki if she found the AA meetings too difficult. The impulse to drink seemed like a war, Nikki admitted. She was afraid things would worsen. Taking Nikki's hand, Victor planted a kiss on it. "They will fight it," he promised his wife. Victor explained his strategy to Nikki. Victor informed Nikki that he intended to celebrate the anniversary of their first wedding with a large party. Prior to the celebration, Victor also desired to leave Genoa City by himself with Nikki. Jordan might leave town since there would be no targets nearby, and Nikki would be free of Jordan and all the triggers that threatened her sobriety. "Yes," Nikki said to Victor, although she wasn't sure if she believed that. "Yes, please, Victor. Remove me from all of this." As they embraced, Victor said, "Anywhere your heart desires." Adam was discovered by Nick at Crimson Lights. Finding a flight to the East Coast was proving difficult for Adam. Adam was relieved and appreciative when Nick offered him the Newman jet. Nick inquired about Adam's health. Adam informed his brother that he was just getting through it because everything was moving so quickly. Nick inquired about Connor. Adam informed Nick that although Connor was upset and afraid, he was open to trying treatment. Given Chelsea's own mental health issues, Adam expressed concern that she was being too severe on herself. Nick inquired as to whether Billy had been lending Chelsea a hand. Adam's positive response sounded bitter. "It's all hands on deck if your kid is in trouble and needs help," Nick reminded his brother. Nick reaffirmed his promise to support Adam. Adam appreciated the motivational speech. Nick shared his talk with Sally with Adam. Before Adam and his family departed for Maryland, Nick suggested that Adam tell Victor everything. Nick insisted that Victor would want to know what Adam and Connor were going through, despite the fact that he was already dealing with Nikki and the Jordan problem. Adam concurred that speaking with Victor was the proper course of action. Nick wished Adam luck and safe travels. Nick went out. When Jack got home, Kyle wanted to tell his father about the trouble he had been having with Diane at work. Jack said he would not be placed in the middle and that Kyle and Diane would need to resolve their differences. Jack questioned Kyle about the possibility that he harbored resentment toward his mother for being appointed co-CEO of Chabot. Yes, Kyle replied. The errors Diane had been making at Chabot irritated Kyle. The presentation he had to correct, he said, was hurried. Kyle acknowledged that he had been eager to point out his mother's errors and had been searching for proof that she wasn't capable of doing the job. Jack wanted to know if Diane and Kyle could break this unhelpful cycle. Kyle felt confident he could solve it. To see how Nikki was doing, Victoria, Cole, and Claire came to the ranch. They were informed by Nikki and Victor that the GCPD was searching for Jordan and that they would be celebrating their anniversary by traveling in the interim. Victor informed them that when they got back, he planned to throw a large celebration as well. Victoria was concerned that Jordan may turn her attention to Claire if her parents were out of town. Claire said they would deal with it if it occurred. Claire thought it was time for her grandparents to take a vacation. Victoria expressed concern for Claire's security. Don't, Claire said to everyone. I no longer fear Jordan, so she can't get to me. Victor gave his granddaughter a smile.